So I've just seen the Mario movie, and I have thoughts. It's interesting, the reviews are kind of all over the place. I think it's like a 53 on Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes. But it's good, so everyone can relax. I saw a Guardian review, and Peter Bradshaw said this. It is, quote, a disappointment to rival the first movie, end quote. Now, that is incorrect on all levels. I encourage Peter Bradshaw to go back and watch the Bob Hoskins 90s live action movie, because it's unfathomable that movie was made. When it's all up on the screen, your brain can't really understand what's going on. You know, this movie's very good. It's everything a Mario movie should be, and, you know, very kid friendly, of course. But it's an enjoyable time. It's an inoffensive, enjoyable time. I think they played it very safe with the humour, which you probably want to do, because you don't want to alienate the general audience with kind of too quirky a humour. But that's what makes the Lego movie so amazing. I love the sense of humour in that. I love Lord and Miller. I really wish they would have done this Mario movie. Because, yeah, like I said, it's very, very safe. It's very, very safe. You've seen the trailer, yes? I'm going to mainly talk about what's in the trailer. I don't want to do any spoilers, but I mean, you guys can all guess exactly how the plot's going to go, I would imagine. But yeah, have you guys seen the original 90s movie with Bob Hoskins? Or have you seen the Japanese animated movie? I too have seen the Bob Hoskins movie, and I saw it in the 90s when it came out, so I would have been 7, and I went with bigger boys and, you know, very young, so I remembered little bits here and there, but my brain sort of forgot about it for years. And then you're like, oh yeah, they did make that insane Mario movie. I mean, if you haven't seen it, watch it, because I think you need to see it just for the spectacle. So yeah, like I said, the humor's really inoffensive, and part of that is down to the 90s Bob Hoskins movie, because Nintendo were like hands off, like, yeah, do whatever you want. What, our most valuable property? Yeah, do whatever you want. Sorry, who are you guys? Some sort of couple director? What have you done? Just Max Headroom in some film? Okay, cool, yeah. Do what you like with Mario. That's what saw Nintendo have such a tight control around their IPs going forward, and probably, you're going to say, rightfully so. And it is mental when you see the film up on screen, because it's exactly what you've imagined it to be and that it should be. And you're like, why did it take so long for this to happen? It's the Mario movie. In terms of plot, it is wafer thin, but then it's Mario, right? I don't blame them for not doing something more interesting like the Lego movie. They played it safe, and that's fine. It's going to make $17 kachillion. So you've seen this in the trailer. Donkey Kong with the fire flower looked great, and we've not seen that before to my knowledge. The spoilers are really like just listing Easter eggs, because forget about New Donk City. It's time to go to Easter Egg City, and there's like 5 on screen at any one time. One of the absolute highlights is the score. It's like a greatest hits of all of the Mario songs from everything. From the Super Mario 64 castle theme when you see Peach's castle, to Luigi having a GameCube startup ringtone. And you're thinking, why wouldn't you use all the Mario history of music as your orchestral score for the film? Well, ask Alan Silvestri. Just take a listen to his score from the Bob Hoskins movie. I'm just going to play a snippet of it. It's unbelievable. That's Alan Silvestri. You know, he did Back to the Future. Even for any film, it's the most generic kind of like twee score I've ever heard. It's awful. And then throughout the film, like when you're trying to get into the Mario action, you're really trying to get into the Mario action. This is the 90s Hoskins movie I'm talking about, by the way. You got this. Go Super Mario? And that is just but one of the many problems with the original movie. And the score, like I said, in this version, when I'm hearing that Galaxy music, yes, incredible. Poobles, I'm glad you've asked that question. And here's my answer. It was very much like I predicted with Pratt. You settle into it very quickly, and he's doing kind of like a muted Brooklyn thing. It is, ironically, very similar at the start to the Bob Hoskins movie. You know, they're plumbers in Brooklyn. The original Mario story from the rap at the start of the cartoon. They're plumbers in the real world. But yeah, I thought Pratt was absolutely fine. And right at the start, there's a kayfabe exclamate. Right at the start of the film, there's a kayfabe exclamate. The fuck? It's not an excuse, but I am quite tired again. Anyway, there's a kayfabe exclamate. Right, good night, everybody. I'm quitting Twitch forever and speaking the English. No! No! He couldn't say English! Yeah, there's a kayfabe exclamate. What is this, my purple burglar alarm? Are we talking 5 million views because Chris couldn't say explan? Get ready, everyone. I'm going to speak successfully. In the Mario movie, there is a kayfabe I think my mental breakdown's begun, and I'm so glad it's happening live on the internet. We can do this. I'm going to talk right now. You guys ready for this? In the Mario movie, right, there is a kayfabe explanation. Is that a word? I'm convinced explanation. That's not a word. You guys are wrong. You guys are all wrong. No way is explanation. Listen, if it was a word, why would I be having problems saying it? Watch this. In the Mario movie, they explain in a kayfabe way why they don't speak with exaggerated Italian accents. Yeah! I don't care about the death because I spoke and it was wonderful. Yeah, so at the start, they do like a little advert for their plumbing company. And that's where we get the rap from the cartoon. And already you're kind of like put at ease. And I thought, you know, I settled into Chris Pratt and Charlie Day really quickly. And I think they did good jobs. Seth Rogen is very, very clearly Seth Rogen. But there was zero Donkey Bong references. So I was happy because it's not needed in this setting, the Mario Brothers movie setting. Jack Black, we've all agreed, he's a great sounding Bowser. And he is, but then Bowser did sing. And I say Bowser, Jack Black did a musical number, and he's like, singing a peachy, 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 peachy. That's fine. Jack Black can do what he wants. It's fine. But this is the Mario movie, you know? The cast has to serve the movie, and this part's been obviously written in there because they've got Jack Black. Hey, we've got Jack Black. Musical maestro Jack Black. Hashtag not my Bowser. And it didn't get a laugh. So I'm like, was it worth it? But, you know, that's me. We're talking a minor nitpick here. But I have to say, apparently Seth Rogen fought hard to get the DK rap in the movie. But he didn't fight hard enough to get Grant Kirkhope's credit in the movie. The writer of the song and composer of GoldenEye. But we're big fans of you, Grant, so appreciate your work. But yeah, you're gonna have a great time. If Mario's meant anything to you over the years, you're gonna have a great time. It's very much like the first Captain America movie. Nerds like us knew what the story was gonna be, so we're like, yeah, let's get this out of the way. He does that, he's gonna go there, cool, done. So now you can kind of do whatever you want with Mario movies, and hopefully maybe they push one a little bit further, maybe story-wise and humor-wise, because it wasn't as funny as I thought it was gonna be. And it's quite easy to make me laugh in a movie like that. Yeah, there are some gags that don't land, and there's a weird existential joke at the end, just before the credits, from Illuma, that made me and one of the mums go, huh. That Luma was kind of like a little bit more, not edgy humor, but approaching that. But now where do we go from here with Nintendo properties? You know, a Zelda movie? Although, do we want to hear Link talking for a whole film? Excuse me, princess. But I'll tell you what was kind of weird, seeing Mario's family. It's like just got a family. And his dad's played by Charles Martinet, which I thought was a nice touch because shows that they respect him a little bit to give him a role in the film. Just not they don't respect him enough to give him the main role. Only really when Jack Black sung his song did I think, okay, the cast is still maybe a bit of a problem here. But for your lead, Mario, good times. Peach, good times. Charlie Day, good times. Luigi's barely in it, though. Luigi's the one who gets kidnapped, and again, this is all in the trailers. He ends up in the dark world instead of where Mario ends up. Oh, Michael Keegan Key. Have I said that correctly? I can say that correctly, but not explanation. What the There's this gimmick in the movie that Mario doesn't like mushrooms. And you're like, whoa, that's wacky. You would have thought he would have loved them. So, you know, some stuff has been done there, but a lot of the negative reviews are like, it's just Easter eggs and no plot. You can see what they're, but some of those reviewers need to chill out, yeah? Because we'll get to my score at the end of the review, but I'm taking into account that it's largely going after a young audience, a family audience. And not everything's like exactly how you want it to be. And saying it's as bad as the 90s movie is insane. But 40-year-old nerds are big business as well. And honestly, I really think it does enough to capture both's attention, imagination, and wallet. And Mr. Key is a fantastic... He sounds so much like Toad, Keegan-Michael Key. It's ridiculous. It's like he's always voiced him. I heard like multiple kids gasp when Pauline came on the screen. She's like a news reporter for a second. And that was kind of really nice to see the amount of times the kids are like, oh, look, it's this or that. And, you know, a lot of kids laughing at the slapstick stuff. You know, kids, they're so like spoiled these days, aren't they? They've got this Mario movie. They've got Nintendo World. Back then, you could only play Mario like at your friend's house for like a brief time if you didn't have a Nintendo console, which I didn't for a while. If you're a fan of gaming, you're a huge fan of Mario from day one, right? First time I met someone who wasn't a Mario fan, I was like, what? And they turned out to be criminally charged. Need I say more? I'll tell you something else. Here's another qualm. The music cue choices of like real world songs are weird and kind of generic. Like Take On Me, not really needed because the power of the Mario score is enough. If you're going to pick music for a movie, and there's several movies that have been guilty of this over the years, like Watchmen, I thought the music choice, I'm like, yeah, okay. Wow. Oh, you've chosen All Along the Watchtower for the Vietnam scene. How did you think of that? Amazing work. They turned on Magic FM that day and just recorded what was on and stuck that in the movie. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. Kind of weird to see Mario playing a NES. Because what's the sort of main franchise of that system if he's a real person? Who really wants to live in a world where the main franchise on your NES, on your console, is Kid Icarus? Yeah, in the Japanese animation, him being a video games enthusiast helps him defeat King Koopa. Oh, Mario. That's right, he doesn't like mushrooms. Oh, see what we've done there. Now pay me $2 million for writing this screenplay. What we've written is Mario doesn't like mushrooms. I know, now pay me! Hollywood! It's 2023, baby. So Luigi's the one who needs rescuing. What, you thought Princess Peach would be? No. She trains Mario like how to be good at platforming and stuff. And that's pretty clever, because he has to get good like you would have to at a real Mario game, or any video game. I have written fuck Jack Black, because of my opinion stated earlier. It's great if you like it, but not everyone does, and it's a Mario movie and you're playing Bowser, not Jack Black. Also, yes, I have a chip on my shoulder, because it's like Cartman and Family Guy. People are like, oh, Chris, you like rock music and comedy. You must love Jack Black. I'm like, yeah, let me know when Jack Black does either. They had a few things that they had to check off, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Mario Kart being in there. But the carts, they're so shoehorned in. We've already established that warp pipes exist. But it's like, oh, we've got to get to Destination A. We need carts! I'm like, oh yeah? But it's great, and I'm not going to lie. Seeing Mario power slide, seeing Mario illegally snake, because, you know, that's cheating. But like, he's doing the power slide, he's getting like the blue, orange, pink boost. That's awesome. That's the kind of attention to detail that gamers want to see. Great bit where Donkey Kong blows out the fire flower before Mario can pick it up. Oh, switch to Mario 3. Yeah, I think you should switch to Mario 3. Alright, calm down everyone. I'll switch to Mario 3. During the final fight, there was a kid right near me going, "Go Mario!" I was like, oh man. So, like I said, kids are going to love it. Families are going to have a good time watching it. And if you're an old nerd like me, you're going to get a lot out of it as well from having a history with the Mario franchise. The plumber rap it's a tune, isn't it? And if you disagree, then you don't like hip hop. Like I said, Peach, it's 2023. She's not going to be kidnapped. 20 years ago, probably would have been kidnapped in the film. Now, very much not. That's fine. But we don't see Luigi for the whole film. And Bowser, they're going with that Super Mario Odyssey original Japanese animation story arc of Bowser having the hots for Peach and wanting to marry her. And you think, ooh, yeah, that'd be in a movie 20 years ago. But now, question mark. But Bowser sort of announces it and all of his Koopas kind of go, yeah, that's a bit weird. So it's nicely handled. We watched an episode of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, and it was an episode that I remembered as a kid. I remember the scene specifically of Mario picking up the fire flower as a kid, and seeing that again was awesome. I love the use of power-ups in that show. They did it right, and this movie does it right, and the Bob Hoskins live-action movie does it all wrong. Futuristic springy shoes so he can jump, Super NES scope so he can shoot fireballs. They had a little bob-omb in that movie, and he was wearing Reebok trainers. The 90s movie, not the new one. Mario keeps calling Luigi Lou, and that was a bit weird. You've got to call him Luigi. Mario gets in a lot of his catchphrases, it's a me, let's a go, wahoo. But he didn't talk about pasta power one time. I still can't believe that Guardian review. Let me read it again. Let me just quote the great Peter Bradshaw one final time. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian, who gave it 2 stars, says, "The new Mario movie is a disappointment to rival the first." Not my words, the words of Peter Bradshaw magazine. He's wrong. Yeah, man, the kids are cheering, they're laughing. Again, no one laughed at the hilarious Jack Black song. Very interesting there, very interesting. Nintendo are gonna feel rewarded for taking this gamble of finally making a Mario movie. And yeah, let's get that Star Fox Netflix series. Everything is referenced. You got a favorite item, song from Mario, it's going to be referenced. Like, I'm only human, I love the Tanuki suit, sure, but I'm more a yellow cape guy for Mario World, and the capes are referenced in their ad at the start, but mainly we see Tanuki Mario! Not enough Luigi though. Luigi fans might be a bit disappointed, but Cranky Kong fans, and now the extended Nintendo cinematic universe has begun. It's mad it took this long, because they were burnt so bad from the 90s movie. But now the floodgates are just going to open, I think. Because think about it, animated Kirby series. Sure. Another music cue, Mr. Blue Sky. I mean, they're all great songs, and I do enjoy hearing them, but lazy choices, and not needed in the Mario movie, I thought. Detracted rather than added. But I don't think it's a spoiler to say Mario and Luigi win the day. The ending bit's awesome, and it's actually quite reminiscent of the end of the first Sonic movie, because they're taking out the big bad guy in the real world setting, and it's really cool. It's the best bit of the movie. One of the best bits of the movie. But they fuck him up with the star, and it's great. Yeah. Bowser says die and kill more than you think he would. Mario and Luigi win the day, and Luigi wins the respect of a dog who he had wronged earlier. So if you don't want a spoiler for the post-credit scene, turn off the stream now. The post-credit scene is like a Godzilla 1998-esque egg hatching tease of a Yoshi egg. And he goes, Yoshi! But we've seen Yoshi in the movie already. We saw like a load of them for like a second, but... And that's it. Okay. If it's a direct nod to the 98 Godzilla movie though, then respect, because that's hilarious. And unlike the Godzilla 98 movie, this one will get a sequel. They put a sequel tease at the end of that Godzilla movie. They're like, oh yeah, these sequels are guaranteed. But the first post-credit scene that was kind of at the start of the credits was another Jack Black song. That's when I crossed out 7 out of 10 and put 0 out of 10. He does it twice. It's not funny. It's a little bit of an earworm just because he's going, peachy, 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 rigagoo peachy. What range by Jack Black? How does he do it, people? What chameleon? But I wouldn't have hired Jack Black or Seth Rogen justice. That's the difference. And you say that, look at movies like King Kong. He's not going, we'll have karate and monkey over America. Is he? All boxes are ticked for an enjoyable Mario movie. It's everything the Mario movie should be. 7 foxes out of 10. It's nothing earth-shattering because, again, it feels like this movie should have come out 20 years ago. But it's a good time. If you're a Mario fan especially, it's a good time. I would say don't necessarily need to rush out and see it at the cinema because there's no plot points where I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. That could possibly be spoiled for you. There's moments where you just sit back and you go, it's amazing to see my old pal Mario represented on the big screen like he should be. Without him going, nah, Luigi, we're the aliens! You motherfuck! This is the good one with the warp whistle. Is the warp whistle in the film? Yes. Toad's playing a little tune on it. I would have been more annoyed about any weed references from Donkey Kong, I think. And maybe there's one in the background, especially since Donkey Bong is such an obvious joke. You know, actually, it is such an obvious joke that I'm now disappointed that they didn't use that. Shame on them. But wouldn't it be cool, genuinely, if they did, like, they've done the Mario movie, but then they do Zelda, dare I say Metroid, and then we get a Smash Brothers movie like an Avengers. It would be pretty cool. And why wouldn't you? It's short, noticeably short, but man, when you watch especially a family friendly movie from back in the day and it's a sweet 90 minutes, sometimes that's all you need. And don't get me wrong, in films like The Dark Knight or Casino Royale, I love the length. It's perfectly satisfying and I just want more. When it's that good, I just want more. But if this Mario film had been like 2.5 hours, that would have been to its detriment massively. Like I said, I saw the Bob Hoskins movie when I was 7. I was confused, I didn't understand, and my brain blocked that trauma from my memory for several years. But man, if I was a 7-year-old and I saw this film, this new Mario film, I'd be very, very happy about it. I very much appreciate your time. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being a fan of Mario, because we're just very lucky to have him. And check out the movie. I think you'll have a good time.